Right now, while you're watching this video, someone's girlfriend is deleting messages. Someone's wife is rehearsing a lie in the bathroom mirror, practicing her casual tone so it sounds believable. Someone's partner is saving a contact under a fake name. Maybe Pizza Hut, maybe Sarah from HR, maybe just an emoji so you won't think twice when the notification pops up. And here's the part that keeps men up at night. You might be that someone. You might be the man she's lying to. I know what you're feeling right now. That tightness in your chest. That voice whispering, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I should trust her more. But let me ask you something. When was the last time your gut was completely wrong about someone? When was the last time that instinct, that primal knowing, led you somewhere false? The truth is, you found this video for a reason. Something brought you here. Something doesn't feel right, and instead of dismissing that feeling, today we're going to honor it. But here's what I need you to understand. Recognizing these signs isn't about becoming paranoid or controlling. It's about reclaiming your clarity. It's about trusting yourself again. It's about knowing the difference between a rough patch and a slow betrayal. So if you're ready for the truth, even if it stings, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's begin. Because by the time this video ends, you'll never see relationships the same way again. Red flag number 1. The phone becomes a fortress. Let's start with the most obvious one, and yet the one men explain away the fastest. Her phone. Think back. When you first got together, how did she treat that device? I'm guessing it sat on the coffee table, face up, notifications visible to anyone walking by. She'd laugh at a meme and turn the screen toward you. She'd read texts out loud while cooking dinner. Her phone was just a phone. Nothing to hide, nothing to guard. Now ask yourself, when did that change? Because here's what I've noticed. The phone doesn't become a fortress overnight. It happens gradually. First, it starts sitting face down instead of face up. Just a small shift. Maybe she says the notifications were distracting her. Maybe she doesn't explain at all, and you don't think to ask. And here's the gossip-level detail most men miss. Watch what happens when a notification comes in while you're together. Does she glance at it casually and respond? Or does she tilt the screen away, just slightly, just enough, type quickly, and set it face down without a word? Does she laugh and show you what her friend sent? Or does she say, just my mum, and move on? Since when does just mum text at 11:30 at night? Since when does just mum make her smile like that and then hide the screen? Pay attention to the apps too. Snapchat notifications at midnight, a new Telegram account she needed for a work group, WhatsApp messages from contacts you've never heard of. These aren't coincidences. These are choices. But here's the thing. A locked phone is just the beginning. The next red flag, it's happening right in front of your face. And you probably think it's a compliment. Red flag number 2, sudden appearance upgrades. This one confuses men because, on the surface, it seems like a good thing. She's taking better care of herself. She's working out more. She bought new clothes. She's glowing. What's not to love, right? But let me ask you a question that might sting. Is she glowing for you? Here's the psychology behind this. When someone enters a new romantic situation, whether it's a full-blown affair or just the electric beginning of an emotional connection, they experience a surge of dopamine and adrenaline. They feel alive again, desired, exciting. And that feeling, it makes them want to look their best. Not for their partner at home, for the new source of attention. So watch for these shifts. She suddenly joins a gym after years of saying she hates working out. She starts doing squats, posting mirror selfies, asking if her legs look toned. Who exactly is she trying to impress? Because it's been 3 years, and she never asked you that before. She changes her signature scent. That perfume you bought her for your anniversary. Replaced. I just wanted to try something different, she says. Really? After wearing the same fragrance for years? What prompted this sudden need for reinvention? And here's the detail that haunts me. The one that should haunt you too. She buys new lingerie. You haven't seen it. She hasn't worn it for you. But the tags are in the trash. The receipt is crumpled in her purse. Where is it? Who is it for? New underwear that your partner has never worn for you is not a small thing. It's a signal. It's preparation. It's intention. Pay attention to how she dresses for ordinary moments. Does she put on makeup to run to the grocery store? Does she spend 45 minutes getting ready for a quick coffee with a friend? Does she come home from errands looking better than she did at your last date night? Because new looks and new energy can be beautiful if they're shared with you. But when that glow appears alongside distance, alongside secrecy, alongside all these other red flags, that's not self-improvement, that's preparation for a different life. And speaking of distance, red flag number 3 is going to hit close to home, because this one isn't about what she's doing, it's about what she's stopped doing. Red flag number 3, the communication drought. Remember the beginning? Remember when she texted you paragraphs? When she wanted to know every detail of your day, and she couldn't wait to share every detail of hers? Remember when a funny thought would cross her mind, and you were the first person she wanted to tell? When she'd send you songs that reminded her of you, screenshots of things she knew you'd find interesting, random thinking of you messages at 2 in the afternoon. That was connection. That was emotional investment. That was a woman whose mind was full of you. Now look at your recent messages. What do you see? Okay. Sure. Busy RN. K. One letter, one syllable, one word answers to questions that used to spark hour-long conversations. Here's the brutal truth about emotional bandwidth. It's limited. Human beings can only invest so much emotional energy before they're depleted. And when a woman is pouring her attention, her curiosity, her engagement into someone else, there's simply less left over for you. You're getting her emotional scraps, the breadcrumbs, the bare minimum required to keep you from asking questions. Notice how she responds when you share good news. You got a promotion. Nice. You finished that project you've been working on for months. Cool. You tell her something vulnerable, something real, something that took courage to share. She nods, says, "That's good," and goes back to scrolling. Meanwhile, and this is the part that will keep you up at night, she's typing essays to someone else. She's sending voice notes full of laughter. She's engaging, asking questions, being the woman you remember falling in love with, just not with you. And here's the gossip-level detail that should make your stomach drop. Pay attention when she confuses conversations. When she mentions something you already talked about, except you didn't. When she references a show you should watch, except she never recommended it to you. When she says, "Remember when I told you about," and you have no memory of that conversation, that's because she told someone else. Her wires are crossing, her worlds are bleeding into each other, and she's so caught up in the other connection that she's forgetting which version of herself she's presenting to you. A woman who loves you, wants to talk to you. A woman who's pulling away. She's conserving her words, saving her best material, giving you just enough to avoid suspicion. When her words dry up, her heart already has. But red flag number 4. This one involves something you probably dismissed as completely innocent. Red flag number 4. The friend who appears out of nowhere. Let me paint you a picture. You're having dinner. She's telling you about her day. And then she drops a name. Casually. Almost too casually. And the worst part? She might genuinely believe it's innocent. She might tell herself, and you, that they're just friends. But ask yourself these questions. Does she text this friend late at night? Does she share things with him that she doesn't share with you? Does she get defensive when you ask about him? Does her face change when his name appears on her phone? So when someone new appears, someone who suddenly takes up mental real estate in her conversations, pay attention, not with jealousy, with clarity. Because the next red flag, this one is psychological warfare, and most men fall for it completely. Red flag number 5, guilt turns into attack. This might be the most disorienting red flag of all, because it takes your legitimate concern and weaponizes it against you. Here's how it works. You notice something's off. You've been paying attention. Maybe to the phone, the new friend, the communication drought, and finally, calmly, carefully, you bring it up. You don't accuse. You don't yell. You just say, "Hey, I've been feeling like something's different between us lately. Is everything okay?" A reasonable question, a vulnerable question, the kind of question that should open a conversation. But instead of meeting you with honesty, she explodes, and suddenly, somehow, you're the villain. You're the one apologizing. You're the one feeling guilty for even asking. This is called DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. It's a manipulation tactic used by people who can't face their own guilt. Instead of addressing your concern, they flip the script. They make you the problem. They make you question your own sanity. Here's the gossip-level detail that should terrify you. Watch for projection. When she suddenly starts accusing you of cheating, out of nowhere, with no evidence, that's often a sign of her own guilt bubbling up. She sees betrayal everywhere because she's living it. She accuses you of what she's doing because it's the only way to quiet her own conscience. Meanwhile, her co-worker's number is saved under a pizza place's name. Meanwhile, she's deleting conversations before she walks through the door. Meanwhile, she's projecting her own secrets onto you. And here's what breaks my heart. Most men fall for it. They internalize the shame. They stop asking questions. They convince themselves they were wrong to notice what was right in front of them. But listen to me carefully. If raising a calm concern results in an explosion, that explosion is not about your question. It's about what she's afraid you'll discover if you keep asking. Reasonable people respond to reasonable questions with reasonable answers. Guilty people attack. And speaking of guilt, red flag number 6 goes somewhere even more vulnerable. Into the bedroom. And what happens there will tell you everything. Red flag number 6. Intimacy changes dramatically. Let me be careful here, because this is sensitive territory, but it's too important to skip. Physical closeness is one of the purest forms of emotional connection. It's not just about bodies, it's about vulnerability, trust, presence. When two people are truly connected, that closeness feels like coming home. But when something is wrong, the body knows before the mind admits it. So pay attention to how intimacy shifts. The first pattern is withdrawal. She flinches, almost imperceptibly, when you reach for her hand. She turns away at night when you move closer. She says she's tired, she's stressed, she's not in the mood. And maybe that's true sometimes. Life is hard, bodies get exhausted, but when not tonight becomes not this week becomes I can't remember the last time. That's not stress, that's disconnection. Her body is telling you what her words won't. She's not present with you anymore. Her desire has relocated. The second pattern is just as concerning, but it looks different. Suddenly, out of nowhere, she's intensely passionate. She's initiating more. She's trying new things she's never mentioned in years of being together. And instead of feeling excited, you feel confused. Something's off. There's a performance quality to it, a desperation. Like she's trying to prove something, maybe to you, maybe to herself. Here's the question that will keep you awake. Where did this new energy come from? Where did she learn that? Why now, after all this time? Sometimes increased passion is guilt. It's compensation. It's a woman trying to convince herself that everything is fine, that she still wants this, that she can bury her betrayal under enough physical affection to make it disappear. And sometimes, and this is the hardest truth, it's enthusiasm learned somewhere else. The third pattern is emptiness. The physical act happens, but the connection doesn't. She's there, but she's not present. Her eyes don't meet yours. The closeness feels mechanical. And afterward, she rolls over, doesn't hold you, doesn't speak. The silence stretches longer than the night. You feel more alone after being close than you did before. And that loneliness in the presence of the person you love, that's one of the cruelest feelings a human being can experience. The body never lies. It can't. When she's yours, really yours, you feel it. And when she's gone, you feel that too. Red flag number 7 is about something more logistical. But don't let that fool you, because when time stops adding up, nothing else will either. Red flag number 7, her schedule becomes mysterious affairs, require one thing that relationships take for granted: time. And when someone is hiding something, they have to create time. Time that can't be accounted for. Time that exists in the gaps between explanations. Time that you're not supposed to question. So, watch for the schedule shifts. Work ran late becomes a constant refrain. Not occasionally, constantly. She used to walk through the door at 6. Now it's 8, 8:30, sometimes 9. And when you ask about it, the answer is vague. Big project. Crazy deadline. You know how it is. But do you? Do you actually know what's keeping her 2 hours late 3 times a week? New activities appear out of nowhere. Suddenly she's joined a gym, but not the one near your house. Suddenly she has a book club on Tuesday nights. Suddenly there are drinks with the girls every Thursday. Activities that create gaps. Activities that come with alibis. Here's the gossip level detail. Pay attention to the math. She says she was at yoga until 9, but the class schedule says it ends at 7:30. Where was she for 90 minutes? She says she grabbed dinner with a friend after work, but she comes home and eats a full meal. Wasn't she just at dinner? Her stories have holes, small ones at first, but holes nonetheless. And every time you notice one, she patches it with a new excuse, a new justification, a new reason you shouldn't worry. The math never adds up, and at some point, you have to stop doing the math and start trusting what the numbers are telling you. I want to tell you about a man named Eric. His wife started working late 3 times a week. He trusted her completely, never questioned it. 6 months later, he found out those late nights were spent at an apartment across town, an apartment he didn't know existed, with a man he'd never heard of. The signs were there, the schedule was screaming, but he didn't want to listen. Unexplained time is not a small thing. It's the canvas on which betrayal is painted. It's the space where secrets live. And now, the final red flag. This one doesn't shout, it whispers, but what it says will change how you see everything. Red flag number 8. You disappear from her future. This is the quietest red flag, the one that doesn't come with a fight or a lie or a locked phone. It comes with something worse: silence. Pay attention to how she talks about the future, not the next weekend, not next month, the real future, the one you thought you were building together. Does she still say we, or has we quietly become I? It's not dramatic. She doesn't announce it, she just edits you out, slowly, sentence by sentence, plan by plan. You mention next summer, maybe a trip you've always talked about taking together, and she doesn't engage. She gives you a half smile. Yeah, maybe. No excitement, no planning, no Pinterest boards of destinations. Just a vague acknowledgement that the future exists, but not a future with you in it. Here's what's really happening. In her mind, she's already leaving. Maybe not physically, maybe not yet, but emotionally? She's packed her bags. She's imagining a different life, a life where you're not her partner. You're a chapter, a phase, something she's outgrowing, and that, yeah, maybe? That's not uncertainty about the trip. It's uncertainty about you. The hardest part is that you can feel it. That sense of floating in limbo. That feeling of being a placeholder instead of a partner. She's still there, but she's not really there. Her body comes home, but her heart is already down the street. If you've disappeared from her future, you need to face a painful truth. You may have already disappeared from her present.